Welcome to Disability Café with your host Maryann and
Chris. What is visible disabilities? It usually involves medical, mental, and sometimes emotional.
well, that's like mental. Mental health is emotional health. So I would say like cognitive. But
Logical.
Yep. So key types of invisible disabilities are chronic illness, neurodivergent conditions like autism, ADHD, dyslexia. Some chronic illnesses are fibromyalgia. By the way, a lot of people think fibromyalgia is made up. And a lot of people think that a lot of people that are diagnosed with fibromyalgia may have some other underlying disabilities that are not yet diagnosed. Because for some reason, like that popped up like 10 years ago. And like now almost everyone I know has fibromyalgia.
Same thing as they say everyone have attention disorder.
Your camera went off.
Yeah, because I'm blowing my nose. I don't want to see that.
So disgusting. You know, I should get a female co-host because with a female co-host, it wouldn't be so disgusting. I'm just saying.
Oh, they won't be that entertaining.
Oh, yeah, you are entertaining, but, you know, my girlfriends, I just love them. They're just fantastic. So anyway, other kinds of invisible disabilities are mental health disorders, brain injuries, and cognitive dysfunctions, which actually Christopher has a brain injury. So he has Landau Kleffner Syndrome, and that means that he had a seizure when he was like 5, 6 years old, and it damaged the part of the brain that controls speech and language. So that's it.
Yeah, or depends on what brain it gets attacked, or it could be like nerves, so it could affect like your muscles of like moving your limbs. Depends on how.
Yeah, there's like a range of disability for Landau Kleffner. There's some people that are fully deaf and do have a form of developmental disability due to the severity of the seizures when they're children. The seizures usually stop by 9, 10 years old for like 98% of people.
Yeah, the range is between 3 years old to like to like 6 of you could catch it, and then after that, usually 50-50 chance will grow out of it and have seizures. Last time I saw one on record was 12 or 13. So pretty much right when you go through maturity, what they say is your brain chemistry change. You have a 50-50 chance of growing out of it.
Yeah, that's interesting. So anyway, the good thing for Christopher is that he did grow out of the seizures. He just hasn't grown out of the being a pain in my neck. What? I said neck. And then there's also other conditions like epilepsy, narcolepsy. There's gastrointestinal disorders. There's people that are terminally diagnosed. There's people that have critical illnesses. And you would never know that these people have critical illnesses. I have a critical illness. It's called APS, or antiphospholipid antibody syndrome. And what that means is my blood is sticky. It's damaging all my organ systems, and there is no cure. Yes, it is painful at times, and yes, Chris doesn't care about it. I tell him
I do care about it.
I can't go up the mountain.
I just call it Jello Aziz.
Look, you can call it whatever you want, but he wants me to go up like a Sleepy Neck Mountain. What is it called? Sleepy Giant.
I'm willing to give conversations like maybe a helicopter affordable, or for wanna will to harbour herself with accommodation and go on a wheelchair tank and go up there. Or they just want to do it.
First of all, those wheelchair tanks are so expensive, and I don't feel that the word wheelchair and tank belong together.
Like they do. They're cool.
They're cool for you. I have a wheelchair and I use it sometimes. I do not like using it because I want to walk as long as possible. Like,
only it's not a tank. It's not a tank.
I know it's not a tank, but I am not going to war, and I am not going up the mountain. So anyway, invisible disabilities. There's also a word that we'd like to talk about today, and it's called ableism. And I use it all the time to describe Chris because he wants me to go up a mountain.
It's not ableism. It's called her being stubborn and is going to go up there kicking and screaming.
So anyway, back to what I was saying. The reason we're talking about invisible disabilities is because when we're in groups, there are times that I'm like so tired. When I get really, really fatigued, I just can't go anymore. And it doesn't matter if you sleep. It doesn't matter if you eat something or you drink coffee, your body just shuts down. It's called having no spoons. I tell you that all the time, and you do not listen to me. And at that point, like, I can get dizzy, fatigued, I can faint, I can pass out, and it's all because of my APS. With Christopher, people get shocked because when he starts talking, he does have a sort of a speech impediment. I don't feel he has one. I understand him like 99% of the time, unless he's trying to make up his own words. What? You do that.
Imagination. It helps people with brains.
Yeah. But the cool thing about Chris is that the speech impediment doesn't stop him from living this amazing life. He's a faculty member at the CT Lend from the Yukon Center of Excellence for Persons with Disabilities. And I'm a photographer, videographer in the state of Connecticut. We have our other friends. I mean, we have a lot of friends in advocacy. Like, I can't even count them. And they all have all sorts of disabilities. You know, a lot of them are wheelchair users. A lot of them are blind, deaf. They were born with developmental disabilities, which is a congenital disorder is a disability that you're born with. And then just a regular disability is something that happens after birth. So technically, I was born with a congenital disorder because I was born with hemophilia, and my twin brother passed away from hemophilia. And some of the doctors feel that hemophilia had something to do with the development of my APS. Christopher wasn't born with no disabilities. And then all of a sudden, he starts getting these seizures and then diagnosed with Landau Kleffner. So he was like a completely healthy, normal person. And then I don't
Yeah,
know
so
how
they, I think
they're on a
you had
full
to
head.
have like some underline to be acceptable for that. Could have siblings that have what I have, so something that made you uh, acceptable or pre-prone
So
to
you
get it.
think it's pre-prone because, like, for Landau Kleffner, is not genetic, number one, and it's just like it's a 1 in a million. To Christopher is 1 in a million people. 1 in a million people get Landau Kleffner, and for me, it's about one in like 300,000. But the reason the APS is considered the biggest autoimmune disease. But the thing is it's a rare disease because the majority of people get diagnosed after they die. So after they die, they do an autopsy. It's a young person. They get hit in the head by a football. They're just a person running and they get a heart attack. A young woman giving birth and she passes away. Or a young woman that has a lot of miscarriages. It could be a lot of those things, and it's it's diagnosed after death because the testing for APS is really expensive. A lot of insurances don't cover it, and because of that, a lot of doctors don't even consider it. Anyway, having invisible disabilities at times is painful. It gets frustrating because people don't really understand that you have a disability. When I park in handicap parking, there are people that give me dirty looks. There was a lady who like pushed aggressively her grocery carriage towards my vehicle and hit my vehicle because she was upset that how dare I park in an accessible parking spot. But of course, if I'm using my crutches, my cane, or my wheelchair, or people sees the scars on my legs, no comment. Oh, I'm fine. But other than that, if it's wintertime and I'm all bundled up and from head to toe, no one can see anything, then it's game on.
Same thing with me. Go to like restaurants or someplace with read have to you go explain. I can't read. I need someone to read this out loud to me. They give me like a weird look, and then they look at me like, "Well, you really have a disability?" So it's just easier to make up a little white line. It's like, "Well, I forgot my reading glasses. Do you mind reading out loud to me?" Because at least you don't get a weird look there. They understand that. They don't understand like, what do you mean you can't read?
It's
They
kind
don't
of
say that, only that's the look they give you.
Yeah, but it's kind of crazy that people think that because 56% of Americans don't either read on a fifth grade level or lower in the United States. So because of that, it's just like a lot of people can't read. You know, a lot of people are used to like the McDonald's menus and their pictures. So they don't really have to read for those things. And there's a lot of people that come to this country and never learn English. And if they do learn English, it doesn't mean they know how to read English. So they struggle with that too. So, well, there's a lot of people that can't read. So it shouldn't be shocking and they shouldn't be giving you dirty looks. I'm just saying that.
It still happens. It's easier to just make up something. Or are you looking for a certain book have to be popular? Because it's not popular, it's going to be very hard to find, or they didn't digitize it and put it like on I didn't put like on ebooks or something on Apple or some type of app type of thing. You could read it digitally or audioly, or if it's not popular, it's not likely going to find it. So
And that's because Christopher's favorite magazine is Better Home and Gardens. And he likes these old gardening books. It's like there's so much dust on them in the library, and that's the one he wants because he loves to garden. He's huge on horticulture. What?
I try to look up like a book on the history, and they'll go like find out if it's digital. They even have a listing on it. I only found like a bunch of law books.
Oh, then maybe that's a sign that you should become a lawyer.
Thanks for watching our topic on not a common subject.
It really is not a common subject. People don't talk about invisible disabilities because they're invisible and no one thinks about them.
Mm,
And no one thinks, well, no one thinks about them until they happen to you.
yeah, and that's why it makes it comical.
Comical? What is back to laughing? We have no sadness here. Like I was forced to go to therapy when I was first diagnosed with APS, and I had to go to the therapist was telling me I have to, make a funeral plan, and like I should have a will, and I should choose who's going to be like a person who's going to be like the trustee while I'm alive, and like a power of attorney while I'm alive, like if I want to stay on a ventilator or whatever. And the whole time I was just wanting to go swimming.
Like I
The
just made wide comedy. So like how many people have warned people without disabilities this possibly will happen, you need to go contact your lawyers there, you need to do this, you need to do that. Like, well, someone else is more qualified. Someone else can do that. Then they come to me after it happens and that asks how can do something to fix this. Or they come to me when something happens to them or one of their relatives, then they ask me my advice or help, what to do and how to fix this or what to do that. Only it's someone else's problem. Till something happens. Then I come to the center of the problem. So that's why it's comedy.
Well, I really don't get that. I get like if I'm talking to legislators or, I'm complaining about, hey, handicap parking stalls are not long enough for trucks, or they're not long enough for wheelchair vans, or they're not wide enough for the lift vans that have the side ramps. If I'm complaining about anything like that, then people are like, "Oh, how did you get into advocacy?" I'm like, well, I do have a disability. I have APS. And I tell them what it is. And they're like, God, oh my God. That's what they say. Or they don't talk to me no more. The minute people find out I have APS, I have no more eye contact because who wants to talk to the dying girl? Nobody. And people do treat you differently. I have my best friends in the world don't care about my disability. They invite me to everything. They don't care about anything like that. I'm just a normal person. Those are the people I love the most. Anybody else who treats me like I'm this fragile girl, I can never go out, I have to stay indoors, I have to wear a mask all the time, I have to do whatever. I don't like to be around those people.
So I give people a mission, people can poker and test if it's breakable.
Like, I don't know what you're doing, but I told you to put your camera sideways. See the problems we're having? I asked. I was being nice. I asked. Because the other two cameras are sideways. Oh my God, I didn't realize that because I wasn't looking down like this. Now you ruined the day. Don't worry, I'll just edit like while we're talking.
It's a camera. Go sync of camera not to see my hand.
All right, Mr. Blake, is there anything else that we forgot?
Poker.
Okay, so stay tuned for more Disability Cafe and more topics. And if you have any topics that you want us to discuss, please send us your information, send us your ideas, and we'll definitely tackle those topics. Between Chris and I, we have done all kinds of advocacy for decades on every single kind of topic you could think of. So we've been all around Connecticut. Both of us, we have hundreds of years together of advocacy services for the state of Connecticut. So send us your ideas. And if you don't want Chris on the video, I can do that too.
Trust me, I'm going to have an army of people poking your arm.
No one's going to poke me in my arms. So anyway. Anyway, moving on.
Yes, they are. Can I give her permission?
It was nice talking to you, Chris. It was nice talking to you. See, look at that. Chris came back to Disability Cafe. And who knows, after this whole thing, when I post it, he may decide, I'm not doing that no more. Or he maybe decide, hey, that was fun.
Exactly. I give permission to people to poke her, rest their cat. Yeah.
All right. Bye, everyone.